Hi everyone, it's Karen here. Welcome to another Monday video with me and Lavinia Stamps. So today I'm going to share with you how I created this little card using the fabulous Raven fairy and then fairy spells in the background with some stars on a gel plate background. So I'm using the Squarely gel press. This is 11.5 centimeters by 11.5 centimeters. The colors that I'm going to be using: Charming Pink in Versafine Clair. I've got Seedless Preserve, Mustard Seed, Peacock Feathers, and Mowed Lawn. I'm going to be using my smoothies to apply the ink to my gel plate, and then I've got my fan brush for applying some splatters. I'm using the card Multifarious cardstock, which is 330 GSM, which is super smooth card. We will get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is take my Seedless Preserve and create a bit of a frame on my gel plate. Now, I did a similar technique last week and somebody said they don't have smoothies. Could they use their stencil brushes? And I can't see why not. Perhaps you'll get a different effect. It will mottle a little differently, but I think that would work. Someone else asked whether you didn't need a gel plate. Could you just do it on the card? I think that would give you a very different effect. Nevertheless, it's worth a go, because what's the worst that can happen? You learn something along the way and you mess up a piece of card. That's all. So you can see what I'm doing here is just a gentle dab, dab, dab motion over again and again around the edge of my gel plate. You don't want to press this too hard, otherwise you'll get specific imprints along your gel plate. That won't be a good look. And then I'm going to take each of these colours and gently create this colour in the centre. I will start with my yellow because it's my lightest, brightest colour. Then a tiny bit of green, very lightly, faintly, and then a tiny bit of the peacock feathers. Voila. I'm just going to pop the lids onto all of these before I get my water splatters going. You could, if you had a very fine spritzy bottle, apply it directly to your gel plate, but I prefer having a bit more control with my fan brush. Then I'm going to take my card and gently smush it over my plate. And there we have quite a mottled effect. You will have seen me clean my gel plate off by lifting another piece of card or paper, just picking up the excess. And then what I'll tend to do is I'll do a whole batch of backgrounds and then I'll put it away. Before putting it away, I'll clean it with either some washing up liquid or my hand sanitizer. To store it, I will store it just in its clamshell without the acetate sheets, and that way it'll keep it nice and safe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this and come back to you. So here I've just trimmed the white excess paper off before we do the stamping. For this, and because Raven is such a solid image, I am going to use my stamping platform. So I'm just going to pop her down a bit there, and use my magnets to hold it in place. Okay, I'm going to put my third magnet on, which you can see has had a bit of an accident there, but I'm just going to ink it up with my Nocturne. As you know, I usually don't use a stamping platform, but because she's such a solid image, I'm going to today. Let the ink settle on the page for a second. Got a bit of paint on here. And there she is, beautiful as ever. And then I'm going to take my Fairy Spells stamp. I'm going to ink it up with Charming Pink. And I'm going to stamp it off first and second generation. Probably could get away with just, here we go, second. This is a lovely stamp. It's got all these gorgeous words in it. Fairy spells, celestial, delights, enchanted, dreams. Gorgeous. Pop one more down there. There we go. Lovely. And then finally, I'm going to take one of my favorite star stamps of all time. This is the mini stars. It's in the pound range. There are several mini stars there, but this one's my favorite. I think it's called Mini Stars 2. Now, it's lost a bit of its sticky, so it's not sticking that well to my acrylic block. And all I'm going to do is just clean it. Spritz a bit of water onto it, gently with a cloth, wipe the back of the stamp. And then once it's dry, it will stick to my acrylic block. So if that ever happens to you, that's how you deal with that one. And then we're just going to pop a few of these stars in and around this lovely raven as she sits on her branch. Looking out, I wonder what she's thinking. So you can see when I took that off the gel plate, I had a bit of a frame, which is not really ideal, but by doing the stars in different random positions, it's lost that frame and makes the whole thing a little softer. So the last thing that I'm going to do with my seedless preserve is I'm just going to frame the edge a little more, make it that edge a little darker. And more definite where I cut it off. There we are. And of course you can make it a lot darker in the center by changing the colors that you've used. I just wanted this to be really soft. In the center. So there we have it. And then what I did was, as I framed it on a black card, give about 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters round each side, and there you have the gorgeous raven surveying her landscape. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.